Many thanks to Fatal Attraction Squad, One Original DayZ servers, Clash Vanilla servers, Sgt. Pepper servers, Sea of Tools Cloud, We That Remain Roleplay, DayZ Sentinel servers, the Struggle Community, the Karma Crew servers, and DayZ Kraken leaderboards for making this video possible. Getting to the best loot on Sakhal is extremely easy if you understand how to stay warm while making the cold journey to the island. So in this video we're going to be looking at how to not lose any health from swimming at all, why you certainly don't need a boat to get to these military containers, and check out the nerf to fireplaces that makes the torch superior. If you didn't watch my previous video on the best gear to protect you from the rain, snow and water, that doesn't really matter much because here is all the best gear to keep you warm while swimming in DayZ. And because the gas mask can't be found on Sakhal, the headdress is the best head slot item in the game, as you can't use it with a gas mask anyway, and no other mask slot is good against water. In fact, wearing any balaclava, for example, will make you colder if you wear it in water. So this gear has the best protection against the extreme cold of water and will allow you to swim to the outer islands to get military containers without the need of a boat, without losing any health from the cold, even during the coldest time of the year, which means the lowest temperature you will get is light blue, if you follow the advice in this video, allowing you to swim for 20 minutes from here to here without losing any health. If you can't get this gear, this image allows you to get the top 3 items that protect you against water coldness, with it being very important in this patch to cover all 8 body parts that insulation gear can be equipped on, because insulation gear not equipped to a body part will penalise you in water. This is because with 1.26 a new mechanic was introduced that makes you colder for any piece of gear that you're missing while you are in water, while you're running in the rain, or while it's snowing. So covering these body parts is vitally important if you don't want to be colder. This new mechanic makes putting items inside a dry bag, or any bag for that matter, and swimming, it's completely useless now. You shouldn't be doing this unless you have extremely absorbent gear, or if you're too lazy to dry it and you're only going in water for a short period of time, which I wouldn't recommend on Sakhal. You're going to lose a lot of hunger and health doing this. There are 2 great loot routes on Sakhal for getting military container gear without the need of a boat, with one being in the north that has several crossings and allowed me to get this gear here in about 30 minutes, including the time it took to get across the ice sheets. It's extremely important to use these ice sheets as water is twice as cold as air temperature in DayZ on all servers. You travel nearly 4 times slower than jogging while swimming too, so it's going to take you 4 times longer to get across, and most importantly, you have the option to light a torch while you're on the ice sheet. The torch is now the best item in the game when it comes to crossing these ice sheets, as you can no longer light fires on them. They will go out very quickly, so the torch is the best method to get some heat back while crossing over these ice sheets, and dries your clothes pretty quickly too. Each time you go in water with a torch, it will extinguish, but you can light it again without having to wait for it to dry on the next ice sheet to replenish your heat comfort value on the go, and it stops you losing health and extreme amounts of hunger from these lower stages down here. Getting the heat buff before you start the ice sheet crossing is recommended, but it won't last long in water, around 1 minute, even if you have 3+ icons, even with the best gear in the game. But you can get the heat buff while heating up items to put inside your inventory. This is very useful for the second military container loot route, which requires a lot of swimming, with ice sheets again being extremely useful here for getting to the first 2 islands that have these military containers on. The next island is very far away, but I swam it anyway just to see if it is possible. It took me 18 minutes to swim across this gap. I didn't lose any health during that time, so using this route instead is recommended to light torches on the go as you dry your gear. So you can go onto these ice sheets, you can dry your gear, and then you can continue your journey, and can even get the heat buff on here too. The torch does give you the heat buff still, unlike most other heat sources now. Alternatively, if you just want to AFK swim across this gap, it's possible without losing any health and maintaining light blue temperature the whole time. To do this though, we need to use everything we know about heat in DayZ, so getting the heat buffer stat, warming up food items to place inside our inventory, drinking a full warm cooking pot of water before we swim, and using 2 heat packs will help you across this gap. The heat buffer will last 1 minute, not allowing your temperature to drop below 0 for this time, which isn't a long time. Hot items in your inventory will give you +4 for each piece of meat, and +12 for a cooking pot, +6 for any other water container, so you can stack as many hot food and water containers you want for this, and placing them in any part of your inventory works the same, so it doesn't matter where you put hot items, as long as they're not in your hands and not on the floor, they will give you a heat bonus. From drinking a full warm cooking pot of water, you will get a decent 8 minutes of a huge +20 heat comfort bonus, so this is well worth doing. And finally, each heat pack you activate and put inside your inventory will give you 20 minutes of a +15 heat comfort bonus. Again, where you put it doesn't matter, it's going to give you +15 no matter what. Using this method, I easily survived the 1.5 kilometer gap here, and I got this gear after 15 minutes of being on the island, with these military containers spawning every 40 minutes if nobody is within 500 meters of them. So you can basically just circle around the island and get all the gear that you want. If you don't have any heat packs, use the ice sheet route instead that I recommended earlier, and drink a full warm cooking pot. To get across this gap, it will take you 9 minutes, so that will give you 8 minutes of a plus 20 boost. That could very well save your life, or at least reduce how much health you lose. But lighting a torch on the other side will dry your clothes and gives you the heat buffer stat for the remaining swim. These two military container loot routes are near spawn areas, so these two routes are going to be faster than Barakan. If you want to go to Barakan and get loot, you don't even have access to the bunker. You would have to go to the volcano and then go to the bunker. But this loot route allows you to get better gear than the bunker too, with plenty of fuel for fires on the islands if you get cold, or food from the surrounding sea. The first loot route is going to be the easiest, as you need to spend a very small amount of time in water, with Rudnogor's fire station and trucks outside giving you firefighter gear. That is the best gear for doing this loot route too. Best of all though, instead of spending hours searching for a spark plug and a boat, you can look for this gear instead, while using the methods I showed you in this video to get military container loot much more reliably than hoping to find a boat. Also, because of how useful boats are on this map, it's unlikely the devs will nerf these methods, as it not only reduces the extremely high and problematic demand for boats, but it opens up more of the map for players to use too. Let me know your thoughts on this. Will you be using the ice sheet loot route to get yourself an M4 or a DMR like I did? Now that we know how to keep the cold away using these two videos, which I'd highly recommend watching if you are going to attempt this. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.